In this lesson, we'll learn how we can navigate from one page to another. For that, we first need another page to navigate to, as our app only has the bookmarks page right now, which displays the bookmarks. Let's create a new page that would allow us to add a new bookmark. I call it the Add Bookmark page. Make sure that you add it within the page package that we created in the last lesson. Since we would want all our pages to say something at the top, we need an app bar, and hence we need a scaffold too. Add a little text to the app bar that says Add a new bookmark. Next, let's add a floating action button to the bookmarks page that would be used to add a new bookmark. Choose icons.add as the icon data and add an empty onPressed method for now. When we dive into the floating action button implementation, we see that it has another named constructor with the name extended. As the docs on this suggest, this type of floating action button can also display a label along with an icon. Hence, let's convert our default floating action button into an extended one. Let's now make use of the label parameter, which takes in a widget. Let's use a text widget here with the text value add. Notice that since this extended floating action button has both a label and an icon, the child widget is renamed to an icon. On hot reloading, we see our extended floating action button. To center this floating action button along the same axis, we can make use of the floating action button location parameter of the scaffold and use the value centerFloat. We want the user to navigate to a new screen on clicking this button. Hence, we can use the Navigator widget here. The Navigator widget maintains a stack-based history of the child widgets, which simply means that it will remember which page you navigated to from the current page. We can access the closest navigator state using the offStatic method and providing the context. Then, to navigate to a new page, we need to push it on the stack maintained by the navigator. Hence, the method used in this case is called push, which takes in an argument of type root. Mobile apps typically reveal their contents via full-screen elements called screens or pages. In Flutter, these elements are called roots or routes, and they are managed by a navigator. The navigator manages a stack of these root objects and provides methods for managing the stack, like navigator.push and navigator.pop. To emulate the default iOS and Android screen transitions, we can use the material page route. A material page route is a route that replaces the entire screen with a platform adaptive transition, which means that it animates the new screen from bottom to top on Android and sideways on iOS. The material page route has a builder argument that takes in a function that returns a widget. Let's name this builder function onFabPressed and prefix it with an underscore to denote that it's a private function. This function takes in an argument of the type buildContext. Here, all we need to do is return the widget that we want to navigate to, which in our case is the Add Bookmark Page widget. Finally, replace the null value with this newly created function. Once done, we notice that we are navigated to the desired Add Bookmark page on pressing the floating action button. Notice that this transition is the default activity change transition on Android. Flutter also handles the back navigation itself. We know that Dart can infer types. Hence, to make our code concise, we can remove the type of the context here. Next, since this is a single line method, we can convert it to an expression. And since Dart can have unnamed methods, we can remove the name of the method while also noticing that Dart would infer the widget return type itself. Now simply replace the onFabPressed method call with this concise expression. On hot reloading, our code still works the same, which confirms that doing this did not break anything.